when the Qunari landed. A great storm had caught their ship and left hundreds of warriors stranded in the city, waiting to return home.
Are you the Templar who's pursuing the boy Fainriel?
It is surprising what sympathies mages evoke. I always expect people to be more wary of their powers than touched by their struggles.
Help me. Anyone.
You know nothing of magic.
That poor girl. We should see if there's anything here to identify her.
Is there any chance you'd help me reach the Dalish? That's where I was trying to go. See if they'd take me in. I'm as much Dalish as human.
Your son has taken refuge with the Dalish.
What? But he is human. They did not even wish me to raise him among them. But they do value magic more than the men of Kirkwall. Perhaps he can have both safety and freedom.
I can't thank you enough for letting me come here. But it hasn't been quite what I thought.
Has the Keeper been able to help you with your magic?
Sadly, his is not a problem we've encountered before. I'm studying our ancient writings, but it is a slow process. His human blood makes it difficult to train him.
You know, when I lived in Kirkwall, I felt like everyone could tell by my face I was an elf. Now I understand how easily I passed. It's harder here.
Still, we appreciate you bringing him here, friend. We would not see a son of our tribe suffer alone.
So, there must be mages in Tevinter who don't use blood magic.
Of course. There are slaves. The Magisters do not hesitate to collar their own kind.
But no Magisters.
Why must you go on about this? No Magister would turn down an advantage over his rivals. If he did, he'd be dead.
You know, to use blood magic, you need to look a demon in the eye and accept his offer. I just figured some of them would say no. For aesthetic reasons, if nothing else.
We have found neither hide nor hair of the lad, Fainriel. I can only think he has fallen victim to demons or slavers.
I found this. It was addressed to you. It seems to be from your daughter.
My daughter? Then you know what she is. How she died. When I traced her to that warehouse, I should have forced her into the circle. My own weakness in the face of her pleas is what destroyed her. It is why I urged Ariani not to give in when Fainriel wished to hide. If only I had been so strong for Olivia.
You have my sympathies. Do not fear the Templars finding out.
Thank you. She is at peace now. I would not wish to see her name smeared while her ashes are still warm.
Did you approve my application?
I can't make you a guard carver.
We were both soldiers. Why won't they take me?
I was an officer, and I follow orders.
No, you don't.
I also think of others before myself. You seem tired of that, and that's dangerous.
Just when it's not my choice. You told them not to take me, didn't you?
Yes.
Here you're having problems with the bone pit. I can help.
Ah, finally someone comes to help me. You look a bit unseasoned, but I hope you'll do. I had to suspend operations. My workers are lost in the mines or have run off. Serves me right for hiring Ferelden refugees. I sent others before, but no word. Perhaps they are putting me off. I need someone competent to figure out what is going on.
You said some of your workers are Ferelden.
Of course. Who else would be pathetic enough?
Yes, all of them. An unruly lot, to be sure.
Mind what you say about my countrymen.
I was not referring to you, of course. My workers are a particularly desperate sort. They're lucky to work for me. Few in Kirkwall will hire refugees.
Surely the miners had good reason to leave.
I am at a loss. No miner has reported in, and no one takes me seriously.
The bone pit must be dangerous if people are afraid to venture there.
No, nothing like that. Pay no heed to local superstition. The Bone Pit is mostly harmless.
Your first mistake was naming your mine the Bone Pit.
The locals named the mine. Those fools say it's cursed. That is why I hire Fereldans. They may be dull-witted, but they're not superstitious.
What's the reward?
I will pay handsomely. The exact amount depends on what perils you face.
I'll head there soon.
The sooner the better. Each day the mine is not running costs me more than those miners make in a year. The Bone Pit is just outside the city. Any map will show it.
What a terrible place to get lost. Not that there are many good places for that, I guess.
An entrance to the mines. Hubert mentioned some of his workers may have gotten lost there.
Nice and trusty you came along. Them dragons would have sniffed me out for certain.
Slow down. Tell me what happened here.
I'll tell you what I can, but be a friend and keep your voice down. There's another dragon close by.
Where'd the dragons come from?
We was mining a new tunnel when the wall collapsed and dragons came through. It was a bloody slaughter. Scared out of my wits, I ran like my arse was on fire. It probably was, only I went the wrong way. Ended up trapped here.
Did anyone else manage to escape?
Some of my fellows ran for the surface. I hope they made it.
You should get out of here.
Don't have to tell me twice. You should leave too. But don't go that way. There's this huge dragon.
Oh, are we gonna go that way? I've never seen a huge dragon before.
So, Carver, have you thought about what you'll do if your expedition doesn't pay off?
This is our only chance, and you know it.
You're so damned proud you couldn't pick up a trade.
And who would take a Ferelden apprentice? Maybe in another year I could work my way up to Piss Boy.
Fine, let's crawl down some holes. Good bloody luck for your sake.
I solved your problem.
So, what happened? One of the miners told me you rescued him from dragons. I cuffed him for lying.
Well, he wasn't. Go there and see the corpses for yourself.
But I thought they're extinct. I believe you. You made them extinct again? If it is safe, the miners can return to work.
The bone pit's hazardous at best. And if the dragons return...
I appreciate your concern for my workers' welfare. I could use someone like you to ensure their continued safety. Since you did so much more than I was expecting, how about we work together?
Work together? With him?
I am offering a 50-50 share in the mine. You will make us both rich if you can keep your countrymen safe.
Why would you share half your business with me?
I spent a decade honing my business instincts in Val Royeaux. I once sold a seat cushion to Empress Selene. Simply put, I have a good feeling about you. So, what do you say?
Seems like the miners could use protection. And an advocate.
So, to our first order of business. We replace the lost workers. I will hire new hands. Plenty of desperate Fereldans out there. But it will take some time. I need you to convince the surviving miners to return. They are holed up in Lowtown. Tell them the bone pit is safe again.
I'll see what I can do.
How did you learn swording?
Swording?
Those things you do with the sword. It looks tricky. Was it hard to learn?
Takes a lot of practice.
Well, you seem good at it. I bet one day you'll be the best sworder in Kirkwall.
Meryl...
I said something wrong again, didn't I? Maybe I'll just stop talking.
Hey, this is the one that rescued me from them dragons. A fellow Ferelden, no less.
1,000 thanks for saving Jansen's worthless hide.
Worthless, am I? My farm supplied eggplant to half of the South Reach.
Yeah? My eggplant supplied half the bastards in South Reach.
You're a real hero. Now what brings you here?
I killed the dragons. It's safe to return to work.
What if there's more dragons later? Or something worse like, bigger dragons?
I go back to the missus without this job. She'll rip me apart sure as any dragon.
What can we do? That bastard Hubert is the only one willing to hire us.
I own half the mine now. I'll keep it safe.
Really? Oh, be nice to work for one of our own. If you don't give us a fair shake, who would? Back to work, boys. I'm happy to take more of Hubert's coin.
Grigio Pavali. There are 6 bottles in the cellar. Denarius used to have me pour it for his guests. My appearance intimidated them, he said, which he enjoyed.
You were his servant as well as his bodyguard?
I was his slave. I propped up the furniture when he was so inclined. It's good I can still take pleasure in the small things.
You've had a difficult life.
I'd rather not speak more of it.
Are you certain? I'm willing to listen.
To my whining? Very charitable of you. I've wanted to leave my past behind me, but it won't stay there. Tell me, have you never wanted to return to Ferelden?
I have no home left to return to.
The Blight is over. You could rebuild what you lost. Do you truly not want to?
My mother came from Kirkwall. Our heritage is here.
Having a place where you can put down roots, I understand. Still, to have the option must be gratifying.
You've been on the run a long time then.
3 years now. Denarius has a way of finding me. Perhaps it is the markings. Whatever the means, it never takes him long to follow. This is the first time I've given him reason to pause. I suppose there are advantages in numbers.
Haven't you sought help before?
Hirelings, when I could steal the coin. Never anyone of substance. Until you. Denarius will not give up, however. I await his return.
What if he does give up? What then?
Then I go to him. I will not live with a wolf at my back.
You won't let sleeping dogs lie?
No. I am no fool.
You could track your former master down, I assume?
I imagine he has returned to Minrathous, though I dare not go near the city while he is alive. No, it is better to wait for him to leave his fortress, fight from a fortified position. I do not expect your help when that day comes, but I would not turn it aside.
Do you intend to keep living here?
I haven't decided. For now, it's as good as any other place. I would return to Saharan if I could, but there is no life for me there.
Is that where you're from?
So I've been told.
Were you very young when you left then?
Perhaps.
Sounds like a tough situation.
I'm not made of glass. I should thank you again for helping me against the hunters. Had I known Anso would find me a man so capable, I might have asked him to look sooner.
It turned out well enough.
It did at that. I will not keep you longer. Another time, perhaps.
You must really like the Hawke family.
Why do you say that?
You came all the way from Lothering with them, didn't you? And they're not even your clan.
Humans don't have clans, Meryl.
Exactly. You came so far together, and you didn't even have a keeper to make you get along.
So your keeper tells you to stop kicking each other, or she'll turn the Aravel around?
Sometimes she also warns us to stop pulling hair.
Sebastian! Stop this madness. The Chantry cannot condone revenge, Sebastian.
It is my right, my duty, to show these assassins there is nowhere in the Free Marches to hide.
This is murder.
No. What happened to my family was murder.
And Andraste did say, those who harm a house of the Maker have done harm unto the Maker himself.
I'm sorry you had to witness that disgraceful scene by the Chanter's Board. I am Elthina, Grand Cleric of Kirkwall. Sebastian's normally a good lad, but he's had a terrible shock.
Sebastian? Was that his name?
Sebastian Vale. He was affirmed here nearly a decade ago. He had just been invested as a brother when we got the news about his family. I'm afraid he reacted rashly, denied his vows, and left the Chantry. If the Maker wills it, he will return to himself before it's too late.
So he's some kind of priest?
He is an initiate of the faith. As a man, he cannot serve as a mother would, but he has led the chant here many times. Before last week, I would have said he was the most faithful of our true believers.
He said someone murdered his family.
Sebastian is the youngest son of the ruling family of Starkhaven. They were overthrown recently, violently. Sebastian is the only surviving member.
He's royalty?
Prince Sebastian Vale, if he succeeds in his pledge to take back his lands. He made a vow to the Maker to put worldly concerns behind him. It is a sin to forswear himself for a mere title.
I think his family deserves to be avenged.
Sebastian would spend his coin to buy men's lives, the same as those who attacked his family. No matter how justified he feels, that is murder. And when he returns, I will tell him so again.
Are you safe, Fenris?
No.
You know, some guards give people the opportunity to lie if it will keep the peace.
You can see what I am. Lie to yourself if you must.
Your family can rest now. Their killers are gone.
Excuse me, who are... My post to the Chanter's Board? Did Her Grace let that stay? I thought for sure no one even read, but you say you've killed them. You have my eternal gratitude, Sirrah. It is comforting to think my parents might now rest easily in their graves.
Who are you exactly?
I am Sebastian Vale, Prince of Starkhaven. Her Grace might prefer I introduce myself as a brother in the Chantry, but I could not stay after what happened to my family.
Who sent these mercenaries?
My family has ruled Starkhaven for 6 generations. We have enemies, but none who would identify themselves openly. A distant cousin of mine is claiming rulership now, but he is a bit simple. He can be no more than a pawn in this plot.
Surely you have a guess as to who was behind it.
My parents were always prudent in how they handled our nobles. They did not allow rivalries or resentments to flourish. The attack must have come from outside. Kirkwall is our largest trading partner. I came back here to find support for my claim, and perhaps for a clue as to who is behind this foul deed.
Why didn't your family's enemies hunt you down as well?
That's why I took the offensive. Thanks to you, those Flint Company assassins are no longer a danger. I'm the last of my line. Unless I survive, my family will have no justice.
I hope their deaths bring you peace.
Thank you. More than I can say. I truly did not expect anyone but me to take up this cause. Consider this in advance. When I have secured my lands again, you will be paid royally. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must meet with the Viscount and petition him for aid to a fellow city.
I'm going through Jevon's neglected reports. Some involve you and requests about you.
By whom?
I don't know. They're old, poorly kept. But you should be on your best behavior.
Thank you for getting rid of them.
I didn't.
You are from over the sea, are you not? Have you come to pray for those you left behind? It was a near thing what happened in Ferelden, but in the end, the Maker stepped in.
I hear a lot about the Knight Commander here. What can you tell me?
Gossip is a sin, child. Knight Commander Meredith has an admirable devotion to her duties.
To the exclusion of all else.
It is not my role to form opinions on her character.
Why are circle mages here kept in a Tevinter prison?
Ah, so soon you take an interest in our problems. The short answer is it was a building. A large one. Should it have sat empty? The Chantry found a use for what was once a horror. It is the nature of men to move on and forget the past. Even your blight will be a distant memory in our lifetimes.
I have things to do.
May you walk in Andraste's light.
The danger is past. Are you all right?
No thanks to this lot, can't get a decent blade at a bargain anymore. You, though, you're what a man needs. A skilled enthusiast.
You can start making sense any time now.
My manners. Javaris Tintop, merchant and investor. I need forward thinkers to help court the Qunari. Those hornheads in Kirkwall have a powder that explodes, and it's just dust. No lyrium, no demons. Anyone can use it.
I felt it sting. Their ships fire thunder.
I doubt they were eager to sell.
That Arishok said I wasn't worthy. That only their outcast, the Talvashath, or that mercenary. I said, great, I'll go talk to them. Didn't go over well. But, made me think. Maybe he'll bargain if I get rid of something that bothers him more than, well, me.
The Talvashath.
The Talvashath. Are you up for some paid hunting?
Your people must have something like that already.
Small things, shaped to crack faults, not shatter the earth. Plus, they're mostly lyrium. Expensive, poisonous. The Chantry controls it topside. The glow makes you a target. Problem after problem.
What's the point, when we already have magic that can do the same thing?
Maybe you have magic, all tough and human and whatnot. But what of the common man? How does he remove stumps from his land, or produce them on his enemies? What does he do when he needs a hole far too fast? Magic is hard to market. But this stuff you can put in a bag.
I suppose there could be a reward for these Talvashath.
As long as you do it, I'm happy. Now, best I could figure, they're up the Wounded Coast, a whole camp. Take their heads off and meet me at the compound in Kirkwall. Get this right, and we'll be richly rewarded. Richly.
I enjoy a man with markings like that.
You've enjoyed many, I suspect.
Where I come from, they're called tattoos. Sailors get them all the time.
Not made of lyrium, I'd imagine.
Not a one. And the pictures are different. Usually breasts.
I suppose a pair of lyrium breasts tattooed onto my chest would make things better.
That's me. I'm a helper.
No further, human. Calvishoth control these passages.
I am more than capable of meeting any threat.
So I see. I expected to warn a caravan, not a well-equipped tracker. The path ahead is littered with my kind. If you are as skilled as you look, it would please me if you killed them.
You have turned your back on your kin?
Yes, for a second time. I did not like my role, so I left the Qun. I do not wish to be a murdering thief, so I left these Talvishoth to warn their victims. You are no victim, so now I will leave.
If they have offended you so much, help me go after them.
But I am worse. They don't want to raise their swords for coin, so they murder and steal. They cling to the honor they held under the Qun. My sword means nothing. I will sell it and myself as mercenary. Qunari would say I am worse.
Do I really have to convince you to do the right thing?
I have already done more than was demanded, by my own choice. You have my word of caution, human. Heed it or do not.
Sometimes I think their brains are twisted up in those horns of theirs.
So far.
That was fun. The dwarf will be at the compound. So what's with that magical fisting thing you do?
Sorry?
You know, when you stick your hand into people.
Oh, that. Yes, it's, talent.
You could make so much coin with that.
Let me pass. I have business with the dwarf Javaris and your Arishok.
The short mouth, yes. Enter if you must, Basra.
You go on ahead. I would rather not.
An awkward time to run off, Isabella.
Ah, you know I'd never leave you. It's just that I really have to leave. Now.
Ah, my right hand arrives. Summon your heir of shock. The bargain is done. About time you showed. I've been here for hours.
Ari Shokost, Maras Shokra, Anan Isamkun.
The Qun from an elf? The madness of this place.
Friend of yours?
Friend of no one.
Yes, well, that said, I'm here to report that your hated Talvishoth were felled, one and all, right? Yes, they were. So, I'm ready to open negotiations for the explosive powder, as we agreed.
No.
He's not getting it. Make your chatty elf say something.
Any insight that would help?
Qunari do not abandon a debt. I humbly request clarification from the Arishok.
I have a growing lack of disgust for you. The dwarf imagined the deal for the Gatlock. He invented a task to prove his worth when he has none.
Then we have wrongly inserted ourselves in your affairs. Would you have us kill this dwarf?
Wait, what now?
If you face Talvishoth, he is not worthy of dying to you, as he was not worthy of dying to them. But you keep good company. Let him live, and leave.
You may want to take this opportunity to go.
But he has to sell. It's a product. People want it.
There is no profit in empowering those not of the Qun. The means of creating the Gatlock is ours alone. It shall be dispensed only to our enemies, in the traditional manner.
You are a frustrating people. And you're fired. Sodding bunch of oxmen and doglords. A whole lot breathing smoke. Pah.
You will leave as well, human. There's no more coin for you here.